Yeah, so this is my first podcast, as you guys know, and I made a rookie mistake, of course. The main camera, I didn't press record. But luckily, we have Jing, who has some experience with this, and he definitely had a camera also recording, and then I think he had another recorder here too. So if the audio is a little wacky in the beginning, that's why. So that's my fault. But you know what? Learning experience, and we're going to move on.
All right.
So, man, first episode.
How's it going?
Of Grit and Bricks. Good.
Yeah,
Super
nice
stoked.
handshake.
And this is going to go as well as it goes, I guess. Right? So,
Yes.
yeah, so I want to start it out with you telling us who you are, what you do. What do you got going on, man?
All right. So my name is Jing. I'm the owner of CLOUD10MEDIA. We're a videography company, but through the last year, we've grown from just videography to also including photography, social media management, marketing, you name it. Like just start from video and everything in marketing and media now. People also ask me questions on how to film stuff, you know, camera gear, all that thing. So I started out doing videography and it's just growing into a multimedia company now and I love it.
Okay, awesome. How long have you been doing that?
So company, I've been doing it for a little over a year now. Personally, just growing up, ever since I was a teenager, I loved filming. You know, I grew up skateboarding. So my first take at having a camera in my hand was doing skate videos. And then same thing, we'd move over in the wintertime, do snowboarding videos. And it was like back when you had digital cameras, like you're like, yo, I got a 4 megapixel, you know, and like, just taking that up there, and then good old school computers, you know, the big guys, and then had Windows Movie Maker was the first editing software that I used. It came free with the computer, and I must have been like 13, 14 years old.
Yeah. And
just, you know, putting together our own videos. Somehow I found a way to download the songs or rip songs off of CDs I liked, and then just made my own, like me and my friends, we'd make our own skate videos. We'd make our own snowboard videos. We weren't very good, but like we were kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I used to do the same
teenagers.
shit with my buddies. We'd make skateboard videos and, you know, try to get the best angle and the best, you know.
What you thought was cool. We thought everything we did was amazing, and it's funny looking back, and you're just like, yeah, what was going on? But look good then.
Yeah.
But actually what's really cool too though is back when I was a teenager, during high school I joined the AV club, so I got to learn a lot more about like Final Cut. I'm trying to even remember like the Avid, like the older editing programs. So it's nice to see using Premiere now, like definitely understand it because all the process and the functions and just the terminology from the older software. And like back in the day, you didn't even have just the software. You would have to get a special computer built, and that's what they would edit on, because when you would take the mini DVs and stuff, we're so lucky to have digital, even that 4 megapixel camera. At that time, do you remember like the GL Pros, like the Canons that had the you know, like the mini DV, you were still on tape, you know what I mean? So we were at least when I was a teenager, it was that point where you had digital cameras, so you could have a video function on them, but it was obviously garbage video, but you were able to capture it onto a digital card at a consumer level.
Okay.
The only other way back then to really get good video at our consumer rate, where you didn't have to get like, you know, like a $100,000 camera, was through like the GLs. You had the mini DV tapes. So you had to find a way to download tape footage you could do it on your computer, but the realistic way to do it is you would get like an Avid system or something that had tons of storage for back then, that you could dump all this footage and it could cleanly record it, and then you can use it for your edit. You know what I mean? It's just like the professional way of doing it. And at that time, again, it's right at that cusp where those were also being like veered out, you know what I mean? And then that's where computers started taking over. The MacBook Pros, like the Silver Towers came out, like computer processing really stepped it up at our level. So you moved away from the systems, and now you could pick your programs, you know what I mean? Like your Premiere, and then you had Final Cut. I think before Reason, Sony had Sony Vegas back then, and like different editing programs. So that was like 14 years old when all this. So the fact that I remember this and looked into it is
Okay.
kind of like.
So you've always had an interest in video and editing and photography and that type of thing. Cool.
Absolutely. And like, I didn't grow up thinking I would do this. I will say that, you know, like my whole dream as a kid, I was still, one of my natural talents is music. Can pick up an instrument and give me like 2 minutes. I'll probably know how to play it, or I can figure something out. I have a musical ear where I can hear something and then I can.
What was your instrument of choice?
Guitar.
Guitar?
Yep.
Awesome.
Really good at guitar, singing, and then learned a little bit of piano because that's like the master instrument if you really want to like learn how to play others, because you have every single note available. Where a guitar, you got to learn the scales through the chords, which isn't riding the frets one by one up. Where at least a piano, you can start from the left and go to the right and have every single note in order. Where if you're gonna play like a trombone or saxophone, like you gotta figure out how to pitch differently, even with your, like, you know what I mean? All the notes aren't very accessible easily for you, where a piano has, as long as you get your fingers, you can boom, 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 it has everything you want, and it puts it in the order of a chromatic scale.
Okay.
Have you ever played a musical instrument?
Guitar.
Yep.
But not seriously. Like my buddies would have a guitar and like,
and even
I
with
just
that,
play
you
on it, but I've
start
never
on,
really actually tried to learn how to play.
yeah, and even on that, like when you're, if it's an E standard, like regular tuning, an open D, you're starting on E, which that isn't where a keyboard would start. You know, usually you would start on C, but most people wouldn't know that because they're just playing. You know what I mean? You have to understand music to understand how the scales go, what key you're in. You know what I mean? Because E's usually
clue.
Yeah. So yeah. So but the cool thing is, loved music.
Yeah.
You know, love skating, really good at guitar, really good at singing, you know, had a couple local bands that, you know, we were big for New England area. We played like huge festivals, like with tons of signed famous bands. Like, honestly, I did a lot of cool stuff for being a teenager from like 14 to 19, you know, traveling all over New England, playing the Dunkin' Donuts Arena, Oxfest, you know, played, one of the shows was like 10,000 people. The other was 30. And like,
what?
Yeah,
I didn't know you did that.
Yep.
That's crazy, dude. I knew you were in music, but I didn't know you did like that type of shit.
Yeah.
I guess you just never had that conversation before.
Cause I mean, and I don't like to brag, you know, like if people know and they bring it up, I'll talk about it. It's cool. Or if it fits the conversation, sure. But
what was the name of your band?
One of them was the Wake Up Call. That one was pretty successful.
Okay.
And then another one was called I'm a Forest Fire, and it was like more of a hardcore screamo band.
Okay.
And we came up with that name as a joke, but that was during the time period where you had bands like Alexis on Fire.
Yeah,
I Set My Friends on Fire.
Never heard of that.
So
one.
we're like, I'm a Forest Fire, you know, just to do it as a joke. But people really liked the music. Dude, it was insane. Like, we only recorded a few songs, and this was back when bands would put their music on MySpace and Pure Volume and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we didn't even have anything available for download. And like, little behold, like a few weeks later after we uploaded a song, we're seeing YouTube videos where it's like best breakdown combinations. And we're in there, and I'm like, yo, how did we make this? And that's awesome, though.
That is cool.
And then from there, I did like, do you remember like 303, the kind of pop EDM?
Yep.
So I started a band called Varsity Heights, where I got the name from City Part in GTA 4. It's one of the parts on the map.
Okay.
So that's the deep dive on that. But yeah, we got signed, and we were signed to Slanted Black Records. And at the time, I believe he was either on it or he was just on it, or they worked with him. But Machine Gun Kelly was on it. There was a couple other big artists that blew up after, but like no one was really looking at it. It might have been Machine Gun Kelly. If not, I know for a fact that Diplo, before he got huge, was tied into it. And he heard our album, and dude, it was crazy. Like, he only wanted like a few thousand to remix it, to put his name on it. And this is before he got big.
On your album?
Yeah, on the Varsity Heights album, our first album that we put out for we recorded an album, like 5 songs, didn't play any shows, and we just passed it around with our like connections in the industry. Small labels, not the big ones, but you know what I mean, just like the small local labels. And one of them in Vermont picked it up and like, yeah, we want to sign you guys right away.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, got to do that. Got to become ASCAP music artist, so I'm registered with that.
Say ASCAP?
ASCAP. ASCAP, American Society Composers and whatever. You can either do that or BMI, which are two musical organizations that if you're a musician, you want to register with them, because the bigger you are, the harder they work for you. The small guys, they don't really do much, but if what they're there for is for royalty protection. So if people are out there playing your music without paying you, they're the organizations that go out and get the royalties for you. And yeah, so I mean, and now my work's protected too. So if I write any music and stuff, since I'm a registered artist, I have that bit of legality behind it.
Like copyright or what's?
Yeah. Well, for the most part, it's not hard copyright. Like if I were to submit it to the U.S. government, to the patent office or whatever, copyright office, and with that, music's different. Like it might have changed now, but back when I was like 15, again, when you did albums, there's a few ways to do a copyright process. So when you send in a copyright, it's expensive, but you can copyright each song. Or what we did as a band for our album is we copywrote the whole album, so it's the album together, So the songs are still protected, but if you really want to have even more protection, you could like copyright it down to per song. And then when you go to a label who wants to buy the copyrights off of you, they would have to pay even more money, because you could sell them like eight of the songs off the album, but you still own the other two because you own the copyright for each song broken down. Where we only have that one shot deal, where since we own it as a collection, they can buy it all as one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It not everyone does it, or they do it. It depends on how much money you have and where you want to go and how much control you have, The whole music industry is different too. So like if you want to segue,
I can see that you're pretty passionate about the music industry and what you were doing before.
Oh yeah, I loved it. We had pretty good success, but I just realized that the money's not there. The money's in video. Like that's where everything's going now. Because back in the day, people would buy albums, cassettes, like vinyl. People buy vinyl now, where it's the most popular it's ever been, but artists aren't making that return off of album sales anymore. And the big contracts that they're signed to the label with for multi-millions, a label is just a bank with a loan. They'll give you 10 grand, for your album, but you need to pay them back that 10 grand through album sales. And usually it's like a 5-album contract and whatever else, because they own the copyright. You get that advance, but you don't start seeing money until after they're paid back.
So when you say like copyright, you mean like they own the songs?
Yeah, because what you should do as an artist,
you create a song as an artist.
You should own your copyright for yourself before they can steal it and take it from you. And you go to the label and they buy the copyrights off of you. They buy the rights off of you.
So the song you created, you no longer own.
They own it, and that's part of the negotiation. Is since they bought it off of you, and they're giving you the advance for the music, and each contract is different, but they're you work with them, and you get maybe a percentage of sales or whatever, but the bulk of everything, 70%, goes to them to pay back that loan, that advance they gave you. So you're not really making money in the industry. Like back in the day, like Aerosmith and like Kiss and stuff, they could hit that. First of all, music was cheaper to record, different industry. And not only that, they could hit those loans. They can pay them back way easier because people were buying vinyls over and over again too, not just one. Those things wore out, so they got another one to collect. And then all the merchandise, going to the shows over and over and over again. The money was way there. I mean, they started in halls, they got bigger and bigger, and then arenas, you know what I mean? Like with all the light shows, the money was there. And then it just started to go downhill because at least in the rock and roll side of things, just wasn't as popular anymore. Like hip hop and other type of music started coming in.
All right. Before we go too far down this hole, I want to talk more about you.
Yeah.
I want to talk more about how you got into what you're doing now and what you did before and what led you into making the decision to work for yourself.
Yeah, so I mean, it all ties together because I had the whole experience with music, so I got to see the professional side of an arts type of lifestyle, if it was worth it, versus still working my 9 to 5. I was a radio frequency engineer for most of that time. So
what is that?
So
real quick, briefly.
Yep. So real quickly, we put coverage in buildings, arenas, hospitals, universities, anywhere where you're in a facility where you don't have coverage and you need to bring cell phone coverage into there, that's the type of systems you do. It's like Wi-Fi, but it's different. It's not just like Wi-Fi because the powers and all that stuff's different.
All right.
But yeah, it was a cool job. And it taught me engineering a lot, and at least taught you more process, and also helps with wireless through audio and stuff like that. That's why I don't freak out about it. I just want to know what the specs are so I can see what's going on, how they're communicating. So,
Jing set this whole thing up. He came in here and he said, we're going to do it like this. And you got the wireless. What did you do? You made it.
Lav mic.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell you did. You did something crazy.
Usually you would use this to record this would be on you.
On like a lapel type of deal.
And if you had that, usually you had that extension little microphone that you would plug in there to hide this brick.
Right.
I'm just running the whole board off of that mic
that's
board.
Crazy. Yeah.
And then since this is, it sends it.
Yeah, so I learned something new today. That's pretty awesome.
And the receiver's over there.
And there's no wire. And it's hanging in there like that.
Audio, and that's where my audio background ties in with the radio frequency, because I understand. I was like, wait a second. I know we can use this mic setup to actually send the whole board over. Because even in recording and music, you learn little tricks like wireless on a guitar or something like that. You know what I mean? Right.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. So, let's go into how you got into being an entrepreneur and working for yourself.
Being an entrepreneur, before I did this, I had all managerial jobs, department head jobs. So I was almost at that level of basically being an owner, I worked directly for a lot of owners. And I didn't have an issue with that. I liked it, but I've had a lot of difficulties where the performance was awesome, work was awesome. I'm making the money, making the money, getting them more money, and getting them sales, like everything. And for some reason, I would always run into issues where I see my growth and it's not being acknowledged. So when I was younger, I would think that, they're going to provide more for me. If I work harder, I'll make more. So, the dream that we're all sold. Mm-hmm. But since I realized that didn't happen, I'm not going to complain or anything or work less. Still keep that, that practice up, just that motion, or I don't even call it that energy I have.
Work ethic
Exactly. Yeah. Keep the ethic up, because, we're creatures of habit. So I want to keep that high level of speed up. And then I realized that, if they're not going to do it, let's go find another job. So I worked a lot of careers and I learned a lot, but I was never at that top position. And I'm 33 now. I went to school for business management, graphic design. I've held a lot of professional positions where managed tons of people, being a department head for staffing and payroll at a skilled nursing facility in Mass. I had around 130 nurses and CNAs and stuff that I would have to staff daily on top of doing the payroll and stuff. So
okay, I just learned that about you. I didn't know you did that either.
Yep. I like to dress.
Dude, I thought we were friends, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. It's funny. You can't really tell who someone is by what they wear. You know what I mean? And I learned that at the bank, because when I went over there, I managed Citizens Bank. Everyone has to wear the clown suits. That's what I call them, the gorilla suits. You got to dress up. It looks nice. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
but
right.
I will say on the other end, it's a circus there. You think that your bankers and tellers know everything they're doing, and they're freaking out trying to keep their cash drawer balanced and get this loan. It's a circus. And
what's funny, I think a lot of occupations are like that. You look at these professional industries or these occupations, you're like, man, they got it figured out. It's like, they probably don't. They're just faking it till they make it.
Yep. And
and I've been in that situation too, where you just, even in real estate, right? Someone will ask you a question or ask you about whatever, and you just got to maintain your composure and professionalism and act like you, and be confident in what you're saying.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
And you're like, man, I have no idea what the hell just happened.
That's just really that's the beauty of being humans, in the society that we live in. Because at the end of the day, it's just if that other person sounds right, looks right, talks right, hopefully they can deliver.
Sounds like a duck is probably a duck,
right? And on your end, it's perfectly normal. Even me, getting into... We'll get into it later, how I got a role editing a big documentary and stuff. I I met these guys out in the field at Deerfield Fair at a muscle car event, just filming with my gear. And, you know, I got myself into it. So going back to what you said, if you know you can deliver, do it, you know, and that's part of growing and becoming a better, I guess, entrepreneur or salesman or business owner, is just giving that confidence to deliver, even if you haven't done it yet and you know you can do it. It's
So what was the last occupation you had before you got into creating CLOUD10MEDIA?
So what I previously, before CLOUD10MEDIA, I worked as a construction project manager. So from management to skilled nursing facility, you know, department head. Also worked at Liberty Mutual doing insurance management and all that. Jumped over into project management for construction. Crushed it at that for like 4 years for these owners. And, you know, I was their go-to guy. And I don't know if it's their midlife crisis or what got them to come up with this idea, but they love cars. And back then, a few years ago, this was prior to COVID, like right before it, EVs were kicking in. It was like the new talk, you know, it was more than just Tesla. Like people were trying to build EVs before the main manufacturers did. So they wanted to have this YouTube page, this custom garages where it's like one building but two sides. One works on EVs, one works on gas. So that's why it was called EVG Wars, was the first title, Electric versus Gas Wars. And that's what we ran with. And then wars with Russia and all that stuff going on during COVID. War was like a sensitive word to use online. So we dropped wars and it turned into EVG Performance. And so what I did was that before any of this started, I was construction project management for them. I was the only project manager they had at the time too, because honestly, they weren't the best company to work for, but I stuck in there. You know, I don't give up, you know, life's every day is a challenge. Just if you look at it like a video game, it's not the funnest one, but if you try hard, try to get a high score, you know, just don't, it's not your favorite game, you know, but if you're at least doing it, try, no different than a video game. If you play in that and you're trying hard, then try hard at life, no different. And so stuck in, and they came to me with the idea. And I thought I was getting fired because like I came back from a little over a month having to take some time off for certain things. And but he came to me with a proposal, and he's like, "Hey, can you help me build this?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." I do
build what?
EVG.
Oh,
and
okay.
EVG Wars was the first name. He's like, "This is what we want to do. Like they're going to handle the building, the construction side, because, you know, that's what they do. But the social media, can you come up with a logo, a brand name for us? Can you videotape for us?" Like they wanted me to write jingles for them and all. And I could do all that because I was a musician. I honestly could do it all. I went to school for graphic design, have a background being a very good musician.
You're a jack of all trades.
Yeah, because I realized I liked arts and entertainment. And in the end, like where I can future segue into in the conversation, Cloud10 has started as videography, and now we do media, multimedia marketing, all that stuff. But where do I want to go? I want to run that. But for my passionate side, I want to be a director. And being a director is what ties in.
Yeah, dude.
You got to know
when
your
we
music,
work together,
you know,
your director comes out 100%. And
yeah,
I love it.
And I think that comes from my management background.
Dude, how long did we take to set up this fucking podcast?
Like, yeah.
I'm like, Jing, do your
5
thing.
minutes.
Just do
what are
your
you
thing.
talking about? Yeah,
I think it might have been 4 minutes.
Yeah, 4 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I know. But it matters. Tying back into being an entrepreneur, starting my business. I don't have a long time on the street or the market, but it's the little things that I do like that people come back.
See, what we did here now to get ready for this, because like I knew you were going to come in and you're going to be like, dude, I have these ideas and these suggestions, and I'm like, I'm just going to let him run with it.
Yep. Hey, I appreciate it. You know,
and
you guys got to tell us what you think.
Yeah,
tell us what you think.
It shows that you really, really care about the quality and the production of what you're putting out. And that's why I always go back to you for my videos. That's why I'm like, hey, you need someone to do a video? Fucking CLOUD10MEDIA.
I appreciate it.
Jing, that's your guy. Because he's going to stay up long at night. He's going to like make sure your shit looks real good.
Absolutely. You know, why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? You're coming to me for a service. So how do I differentiate myself from someone down the street? You know,
it's the quality. Your quality is really good, really good.
I appreciate it. You know, I really do, because I like you said, I will stay up late, take the extra time, and for me, it's not.
Dude, you went to sleep what, 5:45 this morning?
No, I think I went to bed at like 6. The sun was up. So the sun was
you
up.
texted me like, hey, I just went to bed. I'm like, it's 6 a.m.
But hey, on my end, got to do it. It's part of growing. And if anyone who's looking to start a business and is wondering what it's like to be an entrepreneur, unless you got rich bank accounts or family members, I built this with the help of my girlfriend Crystal. Gave me close to, I want to say, probably.
Should we ever come and say hi?
Yeah, we'll have her come and say hi. Crystal. Come say hi.
I wasn't planning on being on camera.
You gotta come over in this area.
Over here.
Hi.
Here. Hold on. Let me turn this around. I know it's kind of a weird situation.
We'll cut it.
There we go.
Hopefully the editor, whoever's editing, will cut it right.
It looks great.
Yeah.
That's good,
It
right?
looks awesome. Yeah.
So it's Crystal. She helped me start CLOUD10.
Here, let me give you the chair. Let me give you the chair.
Okay, all
There you
right.
go.
We got a guest interview now. Sneaking in.
This was completely unplanned, but you know what? We love it.
Okay,
love
here we
'cause this
go.
is-
That's why.
this is
Now I'm on the
inspiration,
podcast.
I like it. That's why. You never know. You never know what happens on the podcast. We'll have celeb guests, like we're playing
She's
beer
I'm
pong
not
or root.
prepared for this.
I was not ready for this.
Well, this is Crystal, and she's definitely one of the big backbone, pieces of the backbone of CLOUD10MEDIA. Definitely helped me to begin in the beginning when I started, because when I started CLOUD10, it was not planned at all. I did the EVG performance for a few years, crushed it, and out of the blue, a couple days before my birthday, the owner just said that my work wasn't cutting it, that marketing wasn't earning enough, which was complete BS, because everything I did, thousands of followers, thousands of views, thousands of and this is like within months, you know what I mean? And then we would make merchandise that I would design, sell out. Crystal and Rich's girlfriend, we were at a car show in the middle of July, Wolfsgart, upstate Vermont. I think it was like 104 degrees. And these are heavy sweatshirts that these girls all sold. So I don't think it was the marketing. So either way, had to go 2 days before my birthday. Do I want to go back into working a 9 to 5, construction or banking or whatever? No, like what I did, minus the owner's, disliking of it, even though the night before he was like, oh, this is the best video you've ever edited. Like on my end, he was just straight up telling me it was all bangers. Like I never saw any concerns or disagreeing. So anyway, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep running with this. And unfortunately, we just bought a house, so it's not like I had extra savings or anything like that. So just in a tight spot where I had to make the leap of faith, like everyone says.
Yeah, and I imagine Crystal was a huge supporter
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She helped me with that, because once I took that jump, I don't have a safety net or anything. I needed everyone's support, and she's been my honestly biggest supporter.
When Jing said, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna quit the corporate life or whatever he was doing with the program, the manager, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
With manager, and you said, "Hey, I'm gonna take the leap of faith and I'm gonna work for myself." Like, what was your reaction?
Honestly, I thought it was great because I
You can pull
saw
the mic closer to you.
I saw how unhappy he was doing what he was doing before, just feeling like he wasn't getting the recognition of how hard he was working and like the product he was putting out. And so I really thought it was a great idea. I was like, this I think is going to be really successful because I see how hard he works at everything that he does. He just
100%, dude,
goes like so far into it.
1000% effort.
I was laughing out there when you were talking about him coming to bed at 6 a.m. because that's like literally every night. And he's like, and it's not like he sleeps all day. He sleeps like 5-6 hours. He'll get up at like 11 noon, but then he's up until 6 a.m. every day. Working really hard. So I knew that he would, when he wanted to do this, like I knew that it would be successful, and because I knew what he would put into it, which is why I didn't have any qualms about like helping him out in the beginning, and like, you know, it like for me it's like it's for us, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's definitely a big drive behind it, because I love it, but it's for us. So
yeah, so
Yeah, I love the support that you give him. That's amazing.
Yeah, when they
That's
say,
awesome.
what is it? Behind every strong man, there's a stronger woman.
Stronger woman, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we've had some arguments about like
I'm
him
sure, yeah,
not being
yeah.
home a lot and
Yeah.
like traveling and like staying up all night editing, and
It's hard.
you know, it is hard, but like at the end of the day, like, you know, it's like he's so much happier doing this and like
Yeah.
working for himself, and I just think like overall like everything is so much better, you know, than when he was working for other people. So
Yeah, I mean, look at the opportunity it brings us here. You know, I love everything I've done for you, how it's helped you grow.
Yeah, dude.
Come to me with any questions you have, you know, video wise or whatnot, and
Yeah.
I love it, man. It's
Yeah,
the
I
way
know
to
they
be.
can't see me right now in the video,
Yep.
but I'm standing. Well, you got your camera here, so.
Probably out of frame, but
I'm
we'll
not
make
afraid.
it work.
But, no, I wanted Crystal to have a chance to get on here
Yeah.
and talk, and because I know you want, you know, she's a big supporter of what you're doing, and
Absolutely.
I think that's super
Absolutely.
important to
I
have.
appreciate you having me on. I wasn't planning on
Yeah.
it.
Hey,
Well,
you
you
know,
better get used to it, because when I'm
I
winning the
want to
awards.
steal the mic and the headphones back from you.
Yeah,
though. I'm
yeah.
sure you don't mind.
Okay, sounds good.
So that was
Yeah.
Crystal, everyone.
Bye.
Get used to it. When I'm winning the big awards, I'm gonna
Yeah.
make sure she's up on stage with me.
100%, dude.
Thank you, babe.
I'm out of here.
But yeah, just it's hard work, man. If you don't have any, and I don't have any investors, I didn't take out any loans. I have excellent credit, but I don't want to. You know, like
Did I finish my drink?
no.
Oh no, I think I put
Is it over on you? You want to go grab it?
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah, go grab it. So bringing us to the good cameras. Welcome back.
Yeah, right.
So hopefully you guys will be
too.
seeing out of this one for the rest of it. So starting a job, or you know, being an entrepreneur, starting a business is tough. You know, you got to take a leap of faith unless you have investors. And if you can save up, like if you're a young kid, my advice, like if you're a teenager or something, save that money. And instead of buying stupid things, you will eventually figure it out. If you think you want to start a business but you don't know what it is, best thing you can do, save, build credit. And then when you figure it out, dump it right into there. I didn't have that option. I had to start because it was either no more media.
Sink or swim.
Yeah, no more media because I got let go for not performing but crushing it, you know what I mean? And then or go back to a day job. So I decided to do Cloud10, and so now talking about it, it's not easy. You know, when I started, I had no startup, so I needed help from the little savings I had, but from Crystal, from my family, you know, Christmas, got like a drone. It was a lot of support. And then just you had to find clientele, you know. I have the equipment, but I don't have the business. So social media, you know, one of the first things I did before I even went out there to get work is I had good logo, you know, you can see it, good logo.
Yo, you're reading you got my hat? I was gonna wear it.
In the truck.
Don't worry about it.
All right,
I'll
well,
yeah.
We'll do it after. But yeah, so I come from graphic design. So luckily, I don't know, like I was made to do this. You know what I mean? Like I can't say I wasn't, because everything you need in media, not on top of just video, graphics, music, you know, understanding the technology, the wireless part of it, the frequencies, the codecs, all that going into editing, understanding the computer specs.
Yeah.
I had that background, luckily. So that's why I know I was made to do this, because I didn't think of this then, but doing this now, like, yes, there's still so much to learn, but I'm not confused. I just need to know what to learn. You know what I mean? And I get the language and the dialogue and all that, because at the end, to be a director, you know, where I want to grow this business into, you really got to understand all of it. Am I going to do it all? Probably not. I'll hire out. But yeah, starting your own business, you got to love it. You have to have the passion for it, where you stay up longer than ever. You're going to work more than a 40-hour job. You're going to make less than a 40-hour job. You have no guarantee paycheck coming
Yeah,
every Friday or every other Friday.
That sign I have out where Crystal's sitting says, I can't see it because I don't have x-ray vision, but
Just
it's
take a
something-
picture of it after.
Yeah,
We'll
something
put it
about
in.
like entrepreneurs work 100 hours for themselves to avoid working 40 for someone else.
Absolutely. And I like it though, because you know what? I'm working more, but just like Crystal said, I'm happier. Peace of mind's there. I always had that issue where I would perform excellent, but I would never get that reward back. It was always going to someone else, or, oh yeah, we'll give you a raise next year. Or I left the company and just found a new place and got paid more because I'm not waiting for them, you know, like I'm only getting older, you know? So now I love it because it all comes back to me, and having that managerial background in banking and stuff helps me understand more of the taxes and the financial part of it. And if I don't know, I know good people to go into because I have people in that industry that I can trust and stuff. And, you know, like just, I love it because, yeah, I'm not making as much as I was before doing my project management job, but that's right now. I think by the end of this year, which will be year 2, I'm going to be making more. And that's with taxes taken out. You know what I mean? And I love that. The fact that I can be doing this within 2 years, I already showed a profit for year 1. You know what I mean?
That's good.
Yeah, like, and so it's doable. You know, like I may have been making more doing the 40 before, but it was miserable. It was awful, and it wasn't as rewarding because even when you thought it felt rewarding, there was always that guy that, oh, I'm like, no,
Well,
not
what
good
they
enough.
say is like, if you love what you do,
Yeah,
you never work.
yeah, exactly. It's more of, like Crystal said, just trying to squeeze enough hours of sleep in the day so I can healthily get some sleep. But
Yeah.
dude, I love it. I just
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
do it forever because it helps everyone out. I love what I do. People listen. And now that I am my own boss, jumping back into it, create your LLC, you know, get all the paperwork, do it right, get all that stuff established, get the website. Even if you don't build anything yet, get the domain name, get the Instagram handles, get everything first. Build your home, your nest egg, your foundations, get the legality, the paperwork. It's work, but get that done first and then start moving. Segueing back into what I was saying earlier, then segue into just going out there and blasting. You know, now you have all the social medias. Start getting some content out there, put that out. You know, you just, at least for what I did to become as successful as I am, that was the method I did. Build the foundation, and then find friends. You know, if you can't get that work right off the bat, which I wasn't, you know, like it's not like,
Dude, how did we even meet?
through my sister's husband. We didn't all meet together, but somehow there was a connection.
Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick knew
Okay.
you. I don't know how it got
I
thrown
don't even
together.
remember how the hell we...
But that goes back to me in my banking history, just being able to pitch. And that's the other thing, being an entrepreneur, is a lot of people say no, but it's okay. Just let them say no, move on to the next one. Who knows? That other person, they might actually say yeah. But if you don't ask, you won't even know, you know? Like, you got to get that comfortable. Like, just keep running, keep running, keep running. And somehow I know I saw a connection, and I just reached out to you because I was just starting out. And that's what I used as the icebreaker, because that's a little bit different than, hey, I'm a media person, I'd like to try this out.
Well,
you know, find a level of connection if you can.
yeah.
It never hurts.
And like, I think I have a soft spot for like people starting new business because I started a new business too.
Yep.
And I was like, well, someone has to give someone else a chance.
Absolutely.
Either they're going to rise to the occasion or they're not.
Yeah. And,
You know, I was like, yeah, fuck it, dude. I'm new. You're new. Like,
and
let's
if
see
we're
what you
new,
can
we're
do.
usually cheaper
Dude,
too.
Yeah. And you
so-
fucking did great work. And I was like, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And on my end, I was like, oh, this is awesome because, you know, he's my age and, oh, man, I'm going
I can hear it.
to love that in editing. Yeah.
Oh, Jing's going to edit this video, by the way.
So, yeah,
Because of what my fuck up.
that's what we're here for. We make it right. But yeah, so I was just happy because starting with no business, you have to do cold calls or reach out, you know, like, but before you do that, have portfolio work. Because I was able to take a lot of the stuff I did before in the car world and the YouTube world, bring that over. Then I asked a lot of friends, families, if I could, you know, record their business for free. You need to have something to show, because if you don't, it's just a bigger hill to get that yes for the sale. If you had especially with video, where I started with video, the video does 90% of the talking for me, because realistically, you just need to show someone, hey, do you like this? Yes or no? And if it's yes, the next question is probably, how much is it? You know what I mean? So let that do the talking for you. And then on your end, you just need to do the work to reach out there. I saw you were a new realtor. I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. He says no. He says no. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? There's other realtors, but you said yeah. And then since it was the first one, and I will treat every job like this, because just give it that 110, you know what I mean? And because I was very thankful, like, hey, I'm starting out, like, I need to do this, because if I do very well, you will be happy. Hopefully you come back, but someone else will see the work. Now I have professional work, another person to put in the portfolio. So those who know me looking at the portfolio, like, oh, that's just all work with friends and people he knows, but outside people won't know that. But now I'm even showing my inner circle, like, it's working. I'm branching out now, you know. And look where you're at, you know what I mean? Each video we do keeps getting better and better, and that's how I want to run Cloud10, and how I want to run my business is quantity is awesome, because, you know, who doesn't like paying the bills and making money? But just like how I put quality into my work, I want to put quality into my clients. I want to work with quality clientele, because
ones that pay you.
Yeah, that could be a whole nother podcast. Make sure you get paid, get QuickBooks, get accounting. One thing I put on there is late fees. So I have a 1 week now. If you don't, extra 10%. I'm not going to say it. Well, yeah, I'll say it on here because I'm not mean, but on my end, I can always waive the late fee. You know, I don't want to take more money, but it's more of like a reminder. And again, coming from banking, like, you can do so much with money. So send that out there, throw the late fee on there just to put that weight on it.
If you do work,
I can always waive the late fee.
Right? I mean, the amount of work you do, or the effort you put into doing like your work.
Yep.
And then someone doesn't fucking pay you.
Yeah. But in this industry, it happens a lot in this industry. And that's part of growing my company brand, helping others, putting that message out there that, you know, everyone does it differently, but you need to be upfront. You need to set that expectation. You need to also understand that even contracts and everything, they still won't pay. You know, it's all there, and that's part of being a business. You know,
and even if you have a contract, like, how much are you going to really hire an attorney, then bring them a small claims court, and then spend that? Like, by the time you get the money from them, you spent more on the attorney.
Exactly.
Like, then you're going to get back.
Yeah, on paper, everything looks great, and by law, you know, like getting the right, who did right and wrong, but that's not what pays the bills. And so as I grow, I want to make sure I keep the quality clients. That's never an issue. And just going with everyone, like, hopefully in media it changes as, you know, we can educate more and just show. I'm trying to show transparency to my customers who become clients on costs. You know, I'll break down like the cameras, like hourly rates. I even tell them all the steps I have to do, because the general public thinks like, oh, hit record, that's when I start paying you, and you stop recording, done paying you. It's like, well, the gear costs something. You know, we gotta pay for all these things, have the knowledge to know how to set all this up,
the setup,
the lighting, you know, and that costs money. And I want to upgrade this. Electronics, they don't last long. You know what I mean? You get like 2 to 3 years on this stuff. So we have to charge more because we have to upgrade. Then on top of it, the time to download the stuff off the cards, the batteries, cleaning everything, the cost to get the tools to clean,
the software to edit.
All that. There's so much more money. And that's the whole other thing. Editing, they think like, oh, you just sit down and start editing and it's done and that's all I'm paying you for. Well, I got to back up the footage, you know, before I even bring it in. I got to sort it first. I have to find the music for it. Maybe, well, what can you do first? So I need to find out from you what you want for music. That all takes time. The discussion to figure out the edit, that's time. You know what I mean? I could be filming somewhere else. I could be editing something else. I could be on the phone. I could be checking emails. I'm giving you my time. And that's part of the editing process. That's called building a script. The
time costs money.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
What I started doing with this year is I started tracking my KPIs, key performance indicators, maybe do the same thing. Where last year, or as a new agent, I didn't track what my time was worth.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you have to have some sales in the pipeline, or you have to do some sales, you know, so you can kind of gauge where your hourly rate is. So I figured out an algorithm. I built an algorithm but based on my amount of sales, amount of hours I worked, amount of money I've made, what my hourly rate is.
Yeah.
So then even if I go to just a listing appointment, or I drive an hour to a showing and an hour back.
You need to calculate that.
Yeah, that's calculated. Like, absolutely. I have an hourly rate of $154 an hour.
Yeah.
I think based on the sales I've done and the hours I've worked.
Absolutely. That makes sense.
That's not something that is tangible right now, but I mean, I put it into my KPI spreadsheet to track like how much is my time worth.
Yeah, you have
and that gives me like my ROI, my return on investment on the sales that I close.
Yeah, you have to set your margin so you know where at least where should be for break even to start making profit. Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? Like, again, starting a business out, I was making like dog shit compared to what I'm making now. And the best advice I give is you'll know your worth. The longer you do it, you'll know your worth. And don't let anyone else set your own worth because you know it better than anyone else. That's best advice I give to everyone. And always be fluent. You know, one price, don't keep that forever. You know what I mean? Just it's a moving number. It's never going to stay the same. Fluid. And you tell your clients that, you tell that to everyone. Be upfront about everything.
Setting expectations that I found in real estate or really any business or being an entrepreneur is setting your expectation up front and saying, hey, this is what you can expect from me. Yep. And this is what I expect from you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's no question about, anything because you've already set the expectation.
Absolutely. And I mean, questions do come up, but it's not, those are the other stuff.
To mitigate the most questions you can, say, this is what you expect this is what you can expect from me, and this is what I expect from you.
Yeah, it's like
if you have questions, that's fine.
Yeah, it's like that invisible outline that you're kind of giving them so they can follow along, you know, and also on your end, you can learn, are they meeting your expectations too? Because a lot of people need to realize that, especially when you're a small business, people want to take advantage of you. So just remember, you can walk away. At the end of the day, you lose money. Time is the more important one that you can't get back, but whatever, you're gone and you're not losing any more putting into it. I
fired a dude who had 9 properties, a 9-property portfolio he wanted to sell, but he was such a fucking asshole.
Just not worth it,
that dealing with him through this transaction would have been an absolute fucking nightmare. Yep. And I was like, you know what? It's not worth my mental fucking stability or whatever you want to call it. Sanity to deal with it. And I said, you know what? I think this other agent is better for you.
Yeah. And
the guy never sold his property, never sold him.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's
not your problem no more.
I mean, for me, I value my, I guess, sanity and time more than, I guess, the payment.
Yeah, the dollar. You're not chasing it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're not chasing it. And that's the best way to be, because people see that. You can see dollar chasers, and you can see people who are confident, who have a skill, and they know that, and they want to make sure that the remainder time we are giving it to the people that value that, because it goes both ways, and that's the best way to do it, because at the end, you can focus more on the work. A better product will be put out because you're not stressed, you're not angry, you're happy. And like, at least for media making, video and what I do, I need that, and especially for creating art, because that's what this is at the end of the day, whether it's for commercial or personal or whatever the use is. I call it a song and dance, and we can pick out the song, but we still need to dance, and let's dance well. Like, I don't even want to just make the dance and get by. Like, let's put on a show. So you definitely want to vet. It never hurts to vet. And if you need the money, to do it, get the work done. Everything's hard. Nothing is easy, but you start building that new, that skill set, that passion or whatever, just you can do it. And it's just, you got to accept that it's hard, but the hard work becomes easier. It's just like if you play a video game and you play it on the hardest setting, of course, when you first started, it's going to be impossible. But then the more you play it, hard is now the new easy. Yeah. You got to look at it just hard like that. Hard is the new,
dude, I like that.
Hard is the new easy.
Hard is the new easy. Repetition. Yeah, dude.
But
that's real.
That's how you have to look at it, man. Yeah. Like, life ain't easy. It's beautiful that as a society we've come this far, and there's a lot of work behind everything. You got to kind of take a step back and look at it like that, instead of just being me, this. Like, everyone's working, everyone's busy, everyone's inventing things and new methods, and industries are changing. Just focus on what you got to do, learn, put the best work out there. Always learn too. Make sure you're competing with yourself, because that's what I do. And I think that's what's worked the best is, if I'm not, I don't want to compete with anyone else, because then I'm focused on them. I want to look at what I'm doing and push myself to do better, because at least I've been seeing it's working. Better work comes out. better quality, which means you can increase your prices,
Mm-hmm.
better return for my clients because they're getting more ads, they're getting more sales, more attention, more clicks, which means you're happy. You know what I mean?
I want to dig deeper into when you said I compete with myself.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to articulate this. When you do something, you're like, man,
Yeah.
I killed that.
Yeah. So like provide
And
more
you're like,
content.
actually, you know what? I could do better. Like,
Yeah.
when you compete yourself, is that,
I know. Well, I mean,
guess I don't know how to ask the question.
so the context behind what I mean by that when I'm in competition with myself is even started with music, writing songs, you know, like everything. This is a skill. It's art, you know,
Yeah.
and yes, I have a gift with it, but I'm not settling on that because I'm just not happy. I don't know how to explain it. It's literally a gut feeling. And I think everyone has this. Everyone knows if they put their whole ass into it or half ass into it. You know what I mean? And it's more about being able to listen to yourself and don't even ignore the thought or deny it or push it aside. If you have that first second that, I don't know, man, just do it. Just listen to it, get it done. Because your self-conscious or subconscious knows more than you do, I think, as weird as it is, you know, if you trust yourself.
Yeah, what's funny too is like I'll do things that I think that are really good, then I'm like, it wasn't good enough.
And well, sometimes, at least in editing, like, is the edit ever done? You hear that a lot, and you could always edit something forever, but that comes through quantity. Just the more you do it, you start to realize like, okay, I'm now in too much competition with myself, because at the end of the day, what is the expectation? Make sure you're hitting that, you know what I mean? And then that's where, being a creator, I could see I met the expectations and I'm like, do I want to do a little more or not? And over time, you'll know like it's not worth it. Like, just give that out. But you can learn what you did on that one for the next one and just do it better on that one. Like, sometimes you don't always want to chase that competition too hard. You know what I mean? Like, just
The
use
competition
it as
of yourself or somebody else?
Of yourself. Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Where I'm like, I want to make the best thing ever. Like, time, money,
Yeah,
getting
there's a
everything
point
out.
where,
There's
like,
a balance to it.
You like refine it and refine it
Yeah.
and refine it. And you're like, all right, the more I find, the more fucked up it gets.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
you got to find that like happy medium.
And that's
Does that make
part
sense?
of, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's part of learning your business, what you do. And then you'll start realizing the more you do it, what works, what not to do, what you should bother to chase, what you shouldn't. Like, some projects worth it, some hit those marks. And by then you're building up that quality and you can always deliver. So
what's
it's a
funny
walk in
too
the
is
park,
like,
you know?
I think you and I both have the same problem.
Yeah.
And I say it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'll do something, or maybe like I'll create a video, or you create a video, and you're like, man, that sucks. People think it sucks, but they don't think or have the expertise that you have or I have. And they look at a video and go, dude, that was awesome.
Yep,
And you're like,
yep.
dude, that was fucking terrible.
So,
But like, they don't know that. Like, it's,
Yep.
you put it out
Yep.
and you're like, that was great. But like, anybody who has the expertise or knowledge that you have will go, yeah, it was okay.
yeah. So, you know what's funny? Again, this is where the quantity comes in by doing work for so many people. I've had so many of those. This is awful. I put it out. But what's funny is most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, that awful one does better. So since I've had that experience so many times,
Why do you think that though? Why is the awful one? Does it seem more genuine? Does people just don't know?
I think that we're not supposed to know everything in life, and that's life making sure we don't know everything in life to make sure to give you curveballs that you don't understand why.
Yeah.
But if you look at it analytically, like, okay, I can count more than 5 times on my hand that's happened to me. So since it's happened so often, now when I let that one go where I got to get it out, and it looks good, but I could do better, but it looks good, but we think it looks bad, but put it out and I'm like, you know what? I know this one's going to do better than I think, than the one I really tried hard on and got the audio just right and little things don't notice, like a few hundred views. But again, can't sit on it. Keep moving, and you just forget about it. I don't care. Maybe I cared when I first started, but you got to learn not to, because then you're never going to get the next job, do better. Focus on what you should focus on, And try that. That's my advice to you. Like, it's just because we're growing.
What is it?
My advice to you, we're growing, we're new.
Yeah.
When you think you didn't do something, if you know you at least hit the expectations and you gave it your best shot and it's out the door or whatever, and you're like, oh, I wish I could do better, or I don't think it's going to do good. Don't tell yourself that. Be like, you know what? I have a feeling it's going to do better than I think.
What's funny is like you think that about yourself and your own video, or your own what you created, and other people be like, dude, that was awesome.
Yep.
And you're like, oh.
Well, you got to just let it go. You got to let it go, and it can go either way is what I learned,
and just not think too hard about it, and just whatever you're doing, just put it out there.
Exactly. That's the key. And if
it provides value to someone, perfect.
Yeah, you said it right there. Like, be your toughest critic. It's always good to be your own self.
Oh, I am, dude. I'm like,
but put it out. Make sure you put it out.
When you got here and I was like, I had everything set up, I'm like, dude, it's perfect.
Yep.
Like, it's fucking good to go. You got here and you're like, everything needs to change.
Yeah, I'm just like, I mean, it looks good, but
like, I expected it. I was like, Jing's gonna get here and he's gonna have his own fucking way he's gonna do things. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let him run with it.
What are
you doing?
The old setup, how you would have had it. It wasn't bad. It was just little things that
the director
It's the director's cut. We'll call it the Jing.
I can't wait to see like the kind of fucking cuts you make with this video and this bullshit.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be amazing. Who knows if it's one part or 100, but
well, I want the whole podcast to be like 30 minutes. So if you can put 30 minutes,
we'll just
send me an invoice when you're done, all right? So just
we'll sound like chipmunks I won't cut anything. I'll just speed it up.
Have a real
one cut
like this. Hold on.
Oh man, we didn't even get into it.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's my real hair, bro. Let's do this. Alright, so that's my Brooklyn accent. Yo, what's up?
We can do this.
What else we got? Yo, what's up, dog? Hello, this is me, Satan. We should just continue the podcast like this. Tom? Yes, God?
Or yes, Satan? But, bringing it back in, though, I think this would be a good place
Let's get serious.
Bring us back in and kind of, tie it for an ender. I can cut this part out. But, so going back to it, starting a business is hard. You got to work hard every day. You don't sleep. You don't make a lot at first, but make sure you keep raising your prices. Keep increasing your quality because the quality dictates the price. Work, study, learn from people. A perfect example, if you're going into video, everything's out there, like you watch videos all day. Like, it's weird. I watch commercials more than I ever would because those are examples at the levels that I want to be at.
Yeah, because you're watching it and you're like, I'm not watching this because I'm interested in this commercial. I'm watching it because I want to see what the type of quality.
I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, they got a drone for this one. I wonder if they got 2-3 cameras on the ground. Are they on gimbals, stands, like
I did that same shit today. I watched another agent's videos and I was like, because you want to know what your competition's doing.
Absolutely.
Even if they're better than you, you'd be like, what are they doing?
Yep.
That's better than what I'm doing. I'm going to do that.
Absolutely. And I mean, you don't need to lose sleep over it because at the end of the day, going back into competition with yourself, if you're consistently competing against yourself, you're going to be better than your competition or at that same level or whatnot, because it's not like they're looking at you to get better. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's busy doing their own thing. And if you can be true to yourself and be honest, and you will know what's working and what's not, because you will either have, like, I have so many more. I don't put out ads. I mean, maybe I should. And I'm not saying if I need to, I won't.
If you put out ads, you'd have to fucking hire people.
Yeah, I would.
I feel like, I don't know, but I feel like you're already busy enough as one person.
Word of mouth, man, and a lot of returning customers or clients, dude. And now I just want to keep I want to keep growing with that. Even if I have like 10, 15 like people that are returning, I want it because each video is always going to get better. And I always feel bad because I'm like, oh man, they must really hate that first video we did compared to where we're at now. But that first one still crushed it, you know what I mean? And that's just the way business...
Which one?
Just with anyone. Think of where I was then to where I am now, you know what I mean? But that's good though, because if I got you then, I'll get you now, you know what I mean? In a good way, because I'm doing that work and work the song and dance. We got the song, we got the best dance, we're putting on a show, and it just keeps growing.
People have reached out and like, hey, who was that guy who did the video at the CLOUD10 meetup?
Yep.
Or who's the guy doing your videos?
Yep.
Oh, it's fucking Jing, man. CLOUD10MEDIA.
CLOUD10MEDIA, send them my way.
And like, I mean, I don't know how much business I brought you, but I mean, every chance I get, I'd be like, yo, I go to like, hey, him first.
Yep.
If you guys don't click or he's too expensive or whatever, then go somebody else. But like, you're my first.
Yep.
Yeah, you're the first guy I send people to.
Well, you were the first realtor I did videos for, and prime example, because since we've done so much, like I always use your work as an example because it's always gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, absolutely. Because if I didn't do that, probably it'd be a lot harder to, I'm sure I would have gone and never doubt yourself, give up, but it just worked. And take a good opportunity and make it the best, and you get more from it,
Yeah.
And I love it. And also, it's just taught me like who to work with and who not. In each field, you're everywhere, you're gonna have good clients and bad ones, and just stick it out, respect the ones that treat you well, and it will work, you know what I mean? And don't always stay in the same industry if you don't have to, at least on a media. And the piece of advice I want to give is, locally, a lot of people like to just film like vehicles or do a lot of arts and creative stuff, but look at the economy, man. Like, a lot of people don't have that dispensable income anymore, you know what I mean? And so I see them struggling, and something that a lot, even across the whole US, I have videographers that I met traveling all over the US last year, reaching out to me saying, how are you doing it? What are you doing? How are you so successful? But my piece of advice is be diverse, you know what I mean? Especially in a bad economy like this. I can only imagine how things are going to be like when things are good, if they're ever good, but like, don't chase fields that run off of dispensable incomes or that are fun or la-di-da. Like, some of the biggest areas, like commercial, I love it. I like the realty, but it's hard. Like, there's good quality realtors like you out there, and then I see a lot of realtors struggling, and it breaks my heart that they screw the vendors over who are in that too.
Yeah. We've had that conversation.
Absolutely.
Up here, but what selfishly, I have to say selfishly, because I can see you're doing this, you're getting better and better and better and better, and you're doing bigger and bigger things, which is fantastic.
Appreciate it.
So are you? But what about me? Like, you guys still?
No, absolutely. Well, everyone runs their
and I hope that
different,
you get too busy for me, and that because obviously, I want you to win. I want you to succeed, and that's what true friends want for other friends.
Oh, absolutely.
To succeed and do fucking amazing things. And if you're too busy for me, because you're making fucking buku money.
Well, if I'm like in California and you're in New Hampshire,
that's fantastic. I'll have to go find somebody else, but.
Well, what I would do though is, and this is where friendship and everything, and being a media person. How do you handle friendships and clients? Still, you're my friend and a client, but obviously you're a friend now. What I would do if I can't be there, the best thing I could do, and this is a piece of advice for anyone, if you can't fulfill it, tee them up for the next best person, because then at least that way you're not out on your own. I'm going to know someone who can film better than you will. And that relationship still keeps going. I'm going to trust
that recommendation. Yo, Jing fucking... recommended this guy that I'm expecting the same quality that Jing gives me,
and hopefully they can hit it. That's where
if they don't, then I'm gonna cry choppy.
Right. Well, that's where expectations. I would tell you he's just as good, or maybe he. That's where we come. Where I tell me being a business owner, someone else, just do your best job. So then you're not left. Just never leave people hanging. There's always an answer. There's always something. Even if it isn't A+, still try to go for an A. Because at the end of the day, we'll still get the objective across, which is making an ad or something like that at the tier you want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't always listen to one band forever. Sometimes you like two bands just the same. Other people can do it.
Listening to Thursday again.
Nice. Which we're gonna go see tomorrow. Well, I wish you could come.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So they're in Manchester. Yeah, they're at the Go, and we look. Yeah. You need to see.
Maybe that's why I was like, I'm gonna listen to Thursday.
Yep.
So that's probably like a subconscious thing why I did that.
Could be. Well, you gotta see if your friend can get you in because it's sold out. But if you can, we'll be there.
I'll have to talk to him.
But all right, bring it back in. Sign it back in though.
So fucking
deliver. And even if I got super huge, or when I get super huge, I'm in California. Exactly. When I'm in California and you're in New Hampshire, and I appreciate you saying that you wouldn't get upset, because that is a fear of mine I have where, there's always that line where it's risky when you have a client become a friendship. But at the end of the day, all my clients are friends now. We do so much work. And then those the ones, not every client is my friend. And because I've learned, like, we just don't work out. I'll still give them the best product possible because that's my brand, that's my reputation.
Yeah.
But if I become that busy, or when I become that busy, I would, at least if I'm here, I'd still try to at least squeeze out one for you. You know what I mean? Because then how cool would it be at your level getting that amazing video and you could put my name or tag on it? You know what I mean?
Dude, that'd be sick.
And you could even use that one for a longer duration than what we're doing now because the prestige behind it and stuff. But I gotta build that and get there first.
Dude, I honestly think you are on the trajectory that you have. I think you're on there.
Yeah.
My personal opinion, I think you're on your way there.
We are on there. Absolutely. And thank you. And I will, and thank you. I'm like this because I appreciate that. And thank you. People need that. We all need it. We all need reassurance. And I think you're going to be on that as well too, because I can never just take something for myself. I got to give it back. But being honest, like, look at where you are now. When we first met, you didn't have any of this setup. You know, you were, I don't even know how many years into it you were, but like, look at you now. You know, you're rocking Sub 2, you got your whole studio going on. Like, you're chasing so many more different avenues than just selling homes. You know what I mean? So that skill that you're building, that's going to be way more valuable down the road.
Yeah,
just like I grow, you're going to grow too, you know?
Yeah, I've realized that, like, what's funny is, like, you get into real estate because it's a people, it's a person, you have to deal with people.
Yep.
I don't like people.
Yeah, right.
But I'm in real estate.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Which is kind of weird. But I also, like, I really find a lot of, I guess, passion or value in helping others.
Yep.
Or what's the word I'm looking for?
Through helping, or like through...
Like, through helping other people. I like doing that.
Well, you're passionate through assisting, you know? Like, you're helping them achieve...
Satisfaction. There you go. Satisfaction through helping others. But I also don't like talking to people. My entire job is talking to people.
I don't know. That sounds more like you issue. No,
maybe it's me. No, I think you're right.
It's tough. I mean, we're new, and society is hard. You know, like, you know, not everyone has their please and thank yous, holds doors open and stuff. And we're a little bit older now, coming, I guess, from a generation where that was more present. I also grew up in the South, where you say Mr. and Mrs. and everything down there. You know.
Yeah.
And
So, maybe we can cut this in the beginning of the episode, but how do you say your full name?
Cengizhan Ercengiz. And I'm named after Genghis Khan, but it's the Turkish pronunciation of it.
Okay, we're gonna have to put that in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, but right at the beginning, you know.
Yeah, we're learning. This is my first one.
Jing is my nickname. It's funny because I didn't even come up with that nickname. I used Genghis Khan forever. When I moved over here from Turkey when I was 5, went to Louisiana, and people started calling me Jenga, like the game, I guess, closest thing. Then I moved to Louisiana, Michigan, to New Hampshire, and this kid, one block over, is like, you know what, we're gonna call you Jing, not Jenga. And I'm like, all right, and it stuck. You know, and
you have such a creative mind.
From experience and exposure, you know, I appreciate it.
About you too is, like, you're super creative.
Thank you. I hear that a lot, so I guess I gotta really.
Like, I've told that before, but I'm like, when I think of Jing, I'm like, dude, he's creative. He has good ideas. Super talented with video and audio.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think it also...
Everybody that works with you is privileged.
I appreciate that. You know, that's why I'll keep making sure to give it 110, because if people feel like that, you know, I do. I like to be very reciprocal. I don't want to be selfish. So if you feel like that, the least I can do is give that.
The only reason I choose anybody else other than you is because you're just unavailable.
Yeah. Well, it happens, and I know, like, that's...
Or it's just too far away.
Yeah, which is fine. And I love that I don't get bummed. You're not bummed. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you build the right friendship, you know, like, everything. Because at the end of the day, if I don't ever do a video again for you, like, I'm sure I'll be sad, but I'm not sad. You know what I mean? I got friends still, though, you know? And I think really... I forget what I was going to say, but like it goes the creativity. So I didn't grow up with a lot, so I had to keep myself entertained. I moved a lot, so I didn't always have that best friend for a long time. I was the oldest, so I had
We
to.
went way off script.
There was
no
I think this is a
script,
good
but-
thing. The
No, I
time, the
love it, I love it.
creativity.
Yeah, continue, please.
You know, figured out a way to do things and pick up something and keep doing it. And I do that with anything and everything. And I suggest that to anyone, whether, you know, when they're starting their own business or anything in life. If you have interest in something, just freaking try until you fall, cut your knee, or you don't understand the words or something. Just do it. You just never know, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to hit on some of the. Yeah, we got to wrap this up.
Losing sun.
What?
We're losing sun. I gotta get more Dunkin' Donuts. Hey, I'm gonna leave this in. I don't know if I can, but got a Dunks, mango,
Yeah, put it in there, man.
mango pineapple refresher. Still waiting for the endorsement.
Look, this is the most informal podcast.
I got flavors.
There's no rules here, man. Like, do what you want.
Oh yeah. So Dunkin' Donuts, reach out, CLOUD10MEDIA.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Make a hit drink.
So here we go. This is a question I get. So with the beginning of this podcast, I wanted to put out a questionnaire to my guests and kind of so I can get to know them better and that we can kind of guide the conversation, or I know what kind of questions to ask him or what things we should hit on during the podcast.
Yep.
Question number 10 for you,
Number 10.
because obviously I want this to provide some value as well. Not that you haven't already, but you've provided a fucking ton of value, dude. I think you're fucking awesome. If you were to pass on one piece of advice to future guests and listeners, what would it be?
What did I write down?
You wrote, walk before you run.
Yeah. Okay. No, I was thinking that. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Walk before you run. Rome wasn't built in a day. Like, just, I know it's cliche, but think about it. If you run, you're gonna trip. You know what I mean? Especially if you don't know what the race you're in, you got the right footwear, all that. You want to walk, understand it, because that's what will teach you how to rush. Just like a car, you know, you work through your gears to get up to the top gear, and while you walk into running, that's where learning, experience, all that comes into play. Growth, confidence, you know, that it's the in-between stages of the two is where the beauty is, you know. And if you can tell yourself that, remind yourself that when you get overwhelmed, you know, it's like these little things you gotta just remind yourself and listen and understand and look at others, you know. It's happened to everyone. A lot of people have to walk before they run, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. One thing I was gonna say, tying back, I want to add this in so we have a closer if we use that conversation. Mm-hmm. Be diverse. If one industry, at least in media, is not hot, look at everything else. Don't be a one-trick pony is what I want to say at the end of the day, because you learn more by filming different things, weddings, commercials, cars, vlogs, interviews. The reason why I'm not worried and I can save this podcast in the beginning is because I've done so many different things.
Some asshole forgot to press the record on the main camera.
And it's not even bad, but you know what I mean? To have that, so we wanted this shot to be the beginner. We forgot, but through doing weddings, I knew to have.
I forgot.
But I'm here, and if I forgot, oh man, that would be, you know, I can't let that happen. And it's just through filming live events. I knew to have 3 mics, 2 cameras, like options, and it saved us. And that's the piece of advice I want to give to that.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
It goes to show this motherfucker's prepared.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was like, man, like, you really need all this stuff? And in my head, I was thinking, I didn't say it out loud, but I was like, really? Goddamn, I'll beat you down.
Yeah, I just wish the stuff was smaller so I could, you know, it's easier to bring. But yeah, you always be prepared too, you know. And you'll make mistakes, but
yeah, it's part of
that's part of life and learning. And just like you learned, you know, it's just take it as a lesson to learn. You know, you can get mad forever, but what does it change? But yeah,
and I do want to hit on a couple more questions. What is one piece of advice that you received from someone else?
Don't piss into the wind.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. It isn't one. At least when you do media where it's photo, video, you know, there's a piece of advice in everything that I do. I don't know.
Is there one person?
Yeah.
That comes to like boom.
Oh
right,
yeah,
when I say is there one person who said something to you that provides value, of course?
Yeah.
That you think of right now?
Right now it's funny, but good old Ron Swanson, when he says, he's like, don't half-ass something, whole-ass something, you know, but I take it in the way,
awesome.
like, you know, it's a character, but I guess maybe that's why I was made to do this. I love media, and I love media quotes, so they've always stuck with me forever, even different lines, but seriously, give it all, you know, especially even if you're doubting yourself, give it all first. See what fucking happens. And then if it sucks, doubt yourself and then learn from it. But chances are, man, the sooner you quiet that peanut gallery, the quicker you can get to work to deliver, you know?
Perfect. And I have 2 more questions.
Yep.
Question 1 is, what are you doing now? Any projects you're working on?
Yep. Right now, so I've been growing the commercial side, taking a step back from the wedding industry. Nothing against it. I'm still doing weddings, but now, honestly, what I'm doing now is I'm building quality clients. I'm not really running ads out there. Always open to take more work, but I'm going with a different approach where people are coming to me now. You know what I mean? Like every day.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, it's a problem we all want. My advice to get to it is I make sure every piece of media, video, flyers, editing, graphic, everything goes out A+, because that A+, just like how I was at the bank, if you really help someone out, they'll go tell their friend. They might not tell their friend today, but they might tell them next week, or their friend might ask them a month later. It took a year to get to this volume of just, you know, people coming to me, and every other day someone else needs something, which is awesome.
So you probably don't have to advertise that much.
No, and I don't want to advertise. I should. If it gets bad, you know, always advertise. I have nothing against it.
You might get like to the point where you can't even get to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to get too busy with calls coming in, and they're really not the type of clients I want. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm building more of a brand and reputation where people who see the work like it, and honestly, the way I see it, and it's been working, if someone needs a video and they like it enough, they're going to call me. You know what I mean? Like, that's my goal. I want to set it that hot that, just like you, if you really like a song or you see something, you're going to take the effort to do that. And I'd rather have that, because on my end, being a business, now I have that new potential client, that customer coming in. Like, I kind of already have the sale done. You know what I mean? Because if they're willing to do all that work just to get to me, I can hit them with my price and explain what's going on. So, but it takes time. It didn't happen overnight. You know, it took like over 300, 400 videos of top-notch work to build that reputation.
Look how good that looks.
Absolutely. But but that's my advice though, is, and I know it all ties back together. We can seem like we're rambling, but work hard, quality, improve yourself. You know, just try your best, put out your best, because I think the passion and the energy speaks louder than the work always. And people want to work with people that have that energy, you know, that gives them confidence, especially if they're not confident at all, because this is all mystery. It's, you know, especially if you make a video, it's not like there's a set script we can follow. At the end of the day, we're still making art. So I think that's how we make the best art, is through communication and finding a client that wants to work hard and an artist that wants to work hard, and usually at the end you get a masterpiece.
Love that. You know, that's a good ender. But also, I want people to know where to find you, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
so
if I want to do some video, I want to hire you to do some work. Where can people find you?
So CLOUD10MEDIA, we're a multimedia marketing company, I guess. I know it's just me, but I'm actually growing, and I love it. I have tons of videographers, photographers, web developers. Like, throughout all this, I've been instead of making enemies with my competition, I try to make friendships with them, and
collaboration.
Yeah, we all work. There's so much work. Like I said, there's only one of me, and there's only so much things I can do. So CLOUD10MEDIA website is CLOUD10.media. So if you want to check that out to get more information on the projects I do. That might be a little bit more behind because I'm a one-man show. The best places to follow me is Instagram, which is CLOUD10.media, so at CLOUD10.media. And Facebook, just type in CLOUD10MEDIA, and you'll see the logo and pull it up. YouTube is CLOUD10-media, I believe. Either way, I'll put it up there, but Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. The social medias definitely get the hot stuff first, and then I update my website when I get time, because I'm in that thankful problem of I'm getting work, so I don't have to, like, I should and I will, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, what I love about your work, and you can put this in your you want, but what I love about your work is that you're so passionate about the current project you're working on.
Yeah, I love everything, man. That's what you got to.
And it's not even like, you're like, dude, I gotta make this better than anything I've ever made.
Yeah, well, and it's not.
It's like
what you said, the satisfaction, because I don't get that satisfaction when the edit's done. Like, yeah, I'm like, oh, this looks sick. Nah, dude. The satisfaction is delivering that video, that photo, any piece of media, social media updates. Like, I've been getting businesses, businesses,
dude, I've never
more
been
business.
disappointed with any piece of media that you've given me.
I appreciate it.
Not once ever.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it. You know, I'm glad, and you know, people. I've had unhappy people, but you know, you work with it, you will find that middle ground. And like I said, I'm always in a battle with myself to get better, because I know if I'm gonna get better, the outcome is gonna be a better product for you guys. So that's a good business, that's a good system, that's a good product and a good brand. You know what I mean? I'm doing what I have to do on my end, so you guys always get that. And those are the things I have to do. And I'm glad you said that, because clearly it's working. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way to be. Like, if anyone's watching this that wants to learn, put in that passion, because I'm only as good as how well you guys do. If you guys don't do well, I'm not going to do well. So, you know what I mean? So it goes beyond the video. The performance matters as well.
People still reach out to me. Good. Like, Z.
Yeah, which was over a year ago, you know?
Over a year ago. I was like, who's that guy that did the video over there? And I was like, oh, yeah, it's fucking Jing.
And have business cards. Always have business cards with you. Since I come from a skateboarding background, you know, I love to have stickers too. Always have something to give to them, and don't toss it out like force their card in their face. You know what I mean? Have them with you. You need to be out there talking. The business card is the last piece. Have the passion within you to go out there. Understand you're gonna get no's. You know, that's okay. Sometimes it might just take one yes, and that one yes project is so big that it's the cost of 4 other projects you could have done. Just get out there.
Well, that one
show
yes
up.
Was the cost of 100 no's.
Exactly. Same thing with real estate. You know what I mean? It works. It goes with any industry. It's okay. People say no. Who cares? Who cares? Learn not to care about saying no, and just go out there. Go to the next person. Worry more about your time. If they said no, just worry about the remainder of the time to go find yes. If nothing happens, nothing happens. It doesn't matter. Just go out there.
Don't dwell on the no. Like, oh no?
Yeah. Because if you're not out there doing it, someone else is, and someone else is going to get that yes, because that person woke up that day looking for that product. He needed to get it done, and he said yes to that other person because they were there. You know? You know
who it's good for when you give up on the no? Your competition.
Exactly. Yep. I agree. And yeah, just I think there'll be more to this. I think down the road we'll have another podcast to continue, but I'm hoping at least the viewers, you know, watching this, you guys enjoyed it and got some value out of this. And going back to finding where I am, CLOUD10MEDIA. If you guys are looking for media, especially in the New England area, reach out. You know, I am busy. But like I said to Corey, when he said, if you're too busy and you're not going to do work for me, my answer, I don't think I'll ever say no. If I can't do it, I'll at least pass the work on to someone else. But who knows? Just reach out to me, man. It might be worth it, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so I really appreciate everyone, you know, taking the time to watch the podcast. You know, Corey, I wanted to thank you for having me be on here. You know, I'm glad it was the first one. This was the first podcast that I've done myself. And you know, karma, it all worked out. We had a backup set up, and you know, I guess leaving this off, thank you. Hope you have me back on the podcast again. Anything upcoming?
Yeah, so I definitely have a list of next upcoming guests in real estate investors, other entrepreneurs, small business owners, and my whole goal is to provide you guys with some value from the stories and lessons learned from my following guests. And this podcast isn't about me. It's about my guests and
Thank
them
you.
sharing their stories and their successes and failures and what they've learned from those things. And that's what I want to give back to you guys, is hopefully that you can take those lessons and things that they say and implement those into your life and make your life better, and or at least, you know, pass on that information, those lessons to somebody else. And
Thank you,
going
guys.
way beyond 30 minutes that we planned, but you know, like I said, it's my first podcast. I had no idea how this was going to go.
Yep.
But you know, we learned I learned some lessons, and Jing had saved me from those lessons because he had a second camera and a second mic. So
Yeah, it's media. It's what we do.
I
It's what we
appreciate
do.
that. So now I'm going to know not to make those mistakes on the next podcast. But
Yeah.
again, you did tell them where to find you, right?
Yep.
And hey man,
Yeah. Thank you.
appreciate being on.
Thank you. Thank you to the viewers. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and reach out to us. You know, leave a comment below. Go.
Grit and Bricks. Grit and Bricks.